In Subarnarekha, Ritwik Ghatak weaves the story of Ishwar and his sister Sita and Abhiram, whom Ishwar fostered. When Sita and Abhiram grow up and fall in love, Ishwar is unable to accept the match, presumably because of Abhiram's low caste status. The young couple flee to Calcutta, the El Dorado, and struggle each passing day to meet ends. They have a son, but as tragedy may hit them, Abhiram gets lynched by an angry mob when he kills a little girl while driving a bus, a job he could gather after several previous failures. A widowed Sita, left with a baby boy, finally succumbs to the basic needs of survival and turns to prostitution. Laced with Ghatak's proclivity for themes on post-partition, Subarnarekha is more a film about displacement and dispossession that focuses on Ishwar. 7 years later, Adoor Gopalakrishnan made his first film Swayamvaram, which as if picks up a thread from Ghatak's barn. Here, we find Vishwam and Sita travelling by bus to Trivandrum from North Kerala in the film's lengthy title sequence. The film is considered a pioneer of new wave cinema in Malayalam language, which soon after became India's hotbed of artistic cinema over the next 5 decades. Swayamvaram is unique and significant for another reason. In 1965, Gopalakrishnan and his friends founded the Chitralekha Film Society of Trivandrum as well as the Chitralekha Film Cooperative. Both played a key role in the development of film culture in Kerala. Swayamvaram was the first film produced and distributed by the Chitralekha Film Cooperative. Background sound is used effectively throughout the film, and Gopalakrishnan shies away from songs, another jolt for the audience till then fed with song and dance sequences of mainstream Malayalam films. In order to achieve this sense of immediacy, Gopalakrishnan takes the camera out on the street, not only in the moving bus, but later on capturing political rallies as well. In sync with the demands of the times, there are allusions to unemployment, unrest, inequality of opportunities, exploitation, and the rise of corruption leading to crime. Gopalakrishnan further cements his position as a creatively serious filmmaker in another protracted sequence shortly after the title. This time, it is a dream sequence where we find Vishwam and Sita dress up like movie stars and strike poses reminiscent of the stars of mainstream cinema. It is no mistaking of the fact that in parodying the mainstream cinema's stereotypes, Adoor Gopalakrishnan draws the audience's attention to a new film aesthetics. If the big city represents hope, which is why Vishwam and Sita flee to it, it is also a captor and exploiter. That first bus ride conditions us to expect what lies ahead in the film. The couple, without a past, migrant dwellers, move from a posh hotel to a bare essential one and finally to a clumsy apartment in a slum. As their economic situation dwindles, they face the heartless nature of the city where getting a job is difficult. Vishwam, who aspires to be a writer, finds his novel endlessly kept on wait, finally to be rejected for publication. The film henceforth is a search for a peaceful home, both mental and physical. This shift happens also in the psychological plane, in their illusory dreams and nightmares to the rude realities of the day. As the couple struggles incessantly not to lose its dignity and find a meaning of home, Gopalakrishnan skillfully tosses the idea of home as a space to create memories and personal histories. In multiple scenes later on, we find different external people stumble upon the couple or the lived spaces, thinking them as previous inhabitants of the same spaces. In preserving that identity of home but limiting the central characters in their capacity to create personal memoirs, Gopalakrishnan raises the question of a migrant psychology inherent in wandering human beings who are economically impoverished. When Vishwam and Sita move to a dilapidated house in a lowly respected locality, they find Kalyani, a prostitute, and Janaki, a widow, as their neighbors. In having these two women characters, both marginals in their own ways, Gopalakrishnan hints at a future of Sita which will be alarming and abominable. Vishwam, constantly overpowered by guilt for being in a relation out of wedlock and not being able to earn a steady income, passes away, leaving behind Sita and their young child. As the film ends, we find Sita, a young widow, looking at an image of the mythical Sita of Indian epic Ramayana and ambiguously glancing at her locked doors. Like Janaki, the other name of Sita herself, Sita has become a widow already. Whether she, like Kollani, and also her namesake in Ghatok's Subharnarekha, will open the metaphorical door and plunge into the cruel world outside, trading her own body, is something that is kept purposefully ambiguous. Between the goddess on the wall symbolizing the sacred and the lock on the door opening which she will disembark to evil, the fate of Sita dwells. In most of Adoor Gopalakrishnan's early films, the men are laid back, static. Hailing from a state with matrilineal legacy, the depiction of women endowed with responsibilities and embracing modernity is quite obvious. More importantly, in doubting Vishwam's willpower to earn a decent living, Gopalakrishnan debates the vulnerability of the modern masculine. It is his inability to adapt to the new space and adopt its nuances is what costs the family its sanctity. It is henceforth left for Sita to decide for her mode of survival. Like the epical Sita who chose her own husband and then went on proving her chastity time and again, Adoor Gopalakrishnan's Sita is also somewhat betrayed by life for her initial selection of a partner. She is now left to choose her own future. Probably that is the price she has to pay.